Hello, happy afternoon, happy Thursday afternoon, everybody, and big welcome to our pumpkin flower arranging class. So we're keeping this really simple today because I know the kids are off on the midterm break. So maybe this is something that the kids can get involved with, right? So we're going to be using fresh greenery. So fresh eucalyptus is what I'm going to use. Greenery from your own garden is absolutely perfect. The likes of a little bit of hedging, that will work out fine. And I'm going to use a mixture of artificial and some dried flowers. So I've two arrangements planned. So it all depends on how time goes. So to get everything off to a good start, what I need is everybody to either click share. By clicking share, you're going to let the notifications get out there. Or the other thing that you could do is if you tag someone. So if you can tag someone who you know is maybe interested in flower arranging, this would really help with our Facebook analytics. But also, who's watching? Where are you watching in from? And obviously, what's the weather like? Because when I say it has been pure shite in Dublin for the last 2 days, 3 days, it's just unbelievable. Has stopped raining for probably about 5 minutes, but literally it has started raining yesterday evening and it rained all the way through, and it done exactly the same the evening before. So anybody that's watching, let's know what's the weather like. Don't sicken us now and tell us that you're in Forteventura and the weather is absolutely amazing where you are, you know, that way. I know we were talking to a couple of our UK students this morning, and it just seems to be as bad over there as it is over here. So a quick update on what's happening here at Case Flower School this week. We had our Module 4 students, they all finished last week. And we had our Module 2 students, and they're actually getting their fresh flower delivery tomorrow night. So there'll be great excitement there. Watch out for all the photographs. We have our Christmas online program that's starting on Monday. So they all should have got their invitations to the Christmas Bloom Room, and the Christmas online tutorials should all be added to their dashboard. It is possible to still sign up if anybody is interested, and I'll get Janette to put the link in the comments there now for the Christmas program for anybody that's interested. But remember, when we do these free live afternoon classes, okay, we're not always fundraising, but for the month of October, we have partnered up with Look Good, Feel Better, which is a charity that gets no government funding at all, right? Completely depends on fundraising. And so far we're on, what was it, Deirdre? You checked it there.
4,465.
So 4,465 is what we have raised so far during the whole month of October. So what's the chances of getting it to 5,000?
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be nice to give it over a nice even number.
Yeah, like I had handing over 4,400. Do you know what I mean? It's a messy sort of it. Imagine having to write that check, okay? So I'll tell you what we're going to do is we are going, as well as getting this afternoon free, right? You're going to get a mini Christmas program. This is completely different to the Christmas online program, okay? It's a little mini Christmas package. And to enroll on that course, it'll cost you absolutely nothing. All you have to do is make a donation to the Look Good, Feel Better. Anything from 10, 20 euros upwards, okay? We had a few people now putting through, and not that we're refusing a donation. Well, listen, the course is worth more than a fiver. Isn't that right, Deirdre?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So don't be taking advantage. And during the month of October, like we have already given away an autumnal doorwreath program. We gave away the pumpkin flower arranging program, and now we're giving away the mini Christmas program. So we're giving all this for completely free, and all we're asking is that you make a small donation. And the reason why we have changed the course each time is that we get you back donating each week, okay? So today the plan is I'm going to do a pumpkin. And what I've done is I've sprayed it with gold. Now the pumpkins, we're still working on the pumpkins that we bought nearly a month ago. Do you remember in Ballymad Farm? Sinead might maybe tag them as well. So we went down to, or up to County Meath, and we bought the pumpkins. And as Sarah was the wife, she said to us, keep them stored outside and they'll be absolutely perfect. And I have to say,
they'll be sitting outside my house.
They'll be sitting outside Deirdre's house. You've all probably seen photographs of Deirdre's house a little while ago. But yesterday, no, actually today's Thursday. Today in Aldi, okay, they're the Algae sprays. They're selling off this, not that selling off, they have the sprays for sale, okay? So this is just the gold one, and you can see there I've sprayed the pumpkin gold. But I'm going to do another one, and where I sprayed it rose gold. Now Aldi have got the rose gold, but I just used the Oasis one. Just again, there's a lot of florists watching, and this is the one that florists normally use. But this one is a third of the price, okay? So if you happen to be, and any florist watching, pop into your local Aldi shop, okay? If Tricia Kenny is watching, I think it was herself had the photographs, she might put them in the comments there for us, and you'll see all the sprays for sale. It's like, you know what I mean? Bring it outside, put a mask on you, sure everybody has masks, and off you go, and you can spray it. And I have our little lid here. Now, I have these bows on the counter because yesterday I popped on live. Somebody was asking me about doing Halloween bows, you know, that way. And we did a class on bows. So all you have to do is go back to yesterday's video on Instagram and also on our Facebook page. And I'll show you using the 2 rolls of ribbon. I'm not going to do it today because we already did it yesterday. Now, today, as I said, I'm going to be using fresh eucalyptus. And to save time, I have it all cut up, okay? But because I'm using fresh foliage, I am going to use wet Oasis, so the floral foam that has been wet. But if somebody watching there would prefer to do it in all dried material, because I'm going to use silk flowers and dried material as well, well, then what you need to use is the dry foam, so the dry floral foam. By the way, Deirdre, are they commenting? Are they saying
there's a few comments? Yes, and the weather seems to be shite everywhere. Lots of shite weather all over. I think somebody said in Kildare has started to dry up a little bit, so hopefully that's on its way here. Some of the people have asked about where can they donate. So if you can't find the link in the comments, if you go to our website and just where Case turns pink for October, click on that and it'll bring you to the link. So flowerschoolireland.com.
And Janette, if you put the link actually in the comments right now,
she is. Yes, she put the link in the comments. And there was another question there, and I can't remember. Oh gosh, what was it?
Well, when you're finding the question, it's just people were asking, how do I cut the floral foam? Okay, so that's the block of dry. Now I'm going to use wet foam, okay, but just in case anybody's interested, because I did a dried one a while ago, and I had the foam already in the pumpkin. So just using a florist knife, cut your block in half, okay, and then what you do is you trim the corners off. Instead of trimming from the top of the floral foam, you trim from the sides. Now I'm going to do it on the flat because it's easier.
Okay, while you're doing that, Janette, somebody is rubbing it in now. So Catherine over on my Instagram says it's very sunny in Beara. So that's in West Cork. It's sunny.
Is it? Maybe Beara is another country, Deirdre.
Maybe it is.
Couldn't be sunny in Cork.
And there's blue skies in Essex. Little Green Shed Flowers is on, and it's blue skies in Essex.
Oh, there you go. That's all the Essex girls. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim another bit. Can you see this sort of effect? But you see the way I'm cutting into the foam, okay? And then I'll have to try it now in the little hole in a second. And then what I do is I trim around the top, okay? Just barely taking the edges off, okay? Can you see that sort of effect? And then there's no need to put a liner inside it. You can just push. That actually was a good guess, wasn't it? You can just push the dry foam down into it. You can press it harder because I'm going to use wet. I don't want to wedge it in there. But if you just put your full 3-4 stone weight on top of that, press it down into it, it'll be wedged in and it absolutely will come to no harm. And what I would advise you to do, so this is for anyone doing it in all artificial, is get the gold spray now, or whatever color you spray to the pumpkin, and spray the dry foam the same color. And I tell you, it's brilliant, you know, that way. And when the pumpkins are open, in a kind of a normal kind of like room temperature, they will last 12 to 14 days. But you listen, it's Halloween on Friday or on Sunday. And as soon as Halloween is over, it'll be Christmas. And anyway, we're putting up our Christmas trees.
And somebody says, which we mentioned on the last live, Mary says, if you clean out the pumpkin and use lemon juice instead of bleach, you can give it out to the wildlife.
Absolutely. And that's what we're doing to all the pumpkins. Deirdre has loads of birds up in her garden, so we put them all out and the birds then do eat them. Now, obviously not the ones that we sprayed, we don't, okay? So the same idea, I have the fresh foam, and you can see there I've trimmed it kind of a similar way, right? And then I'm just going to wedge that one. Now, don't put your full 4 stone weight on this one, okay? Just wedge it in nice and tight, because if you press it down too hard, you could end up damaging the actual floral foam. And there's absolutely no need to anchor tape it in. So I just wanted to show people how to do the dry one, because that was the question that I was being asked.
Catherine on Instagram said, no, it's definitely Cork. So I knew it was.
All right.
That's where my family, well, my husband's family are all from Beara.
Is she a Sullivan or a no Sullivan or a niece Sullivan or Nancy Sullivan? They're all Sullivans down there. They are. Deirdre's married to a Sullivan.
It's blue skies in Waterford as well. So this seems to be the good weather.
Maybe it's cleared enough. Maybe
Fragrance Field says, do you line the pumpkin?
No, absolutely no need. You can, and again, if you watch the pumpkin tutorials that I have been doing over the last few weeks, sometimes I put a bulb bowl down inside it. But when I'm doing them early before, brilliant, when somebody donates, we go cha-ching. Okay, so we've 2 donations so far. If you're making them in advance, okay, it's a good idea to use a bowl or a posy dish inside it so that you can keep it watered. But again, I'm using, like, the flowers that I'm using won't need that much water, and the inside, the moisture of the inside of the pumpkin is absolutely fine. And with the dried, you know what I mean? Again, the pumpkin itself is only going to last 12 to 14 days.
I got 2 weeks exactly out of the one that we did, the dried one that we did.
2 weeks,
2 weeks exactly to the day. And it started to cry.
Yeah, they do. They start to leak, you know, that sort of way. It's like, you know, when the baby has had like a bad night and you take it up and you put your hand on it and it starts squidging out the sides. It's disgusting, it is. It's just, and it's smelly as well. So put a dinner plate underneath them. So I'll get rid of them after the 12 days. So to save time, okay, I have the eucalyptus cut up already. And what I'm going to do is work around the outside. Now, any kids that are watching, because I'm keeping this nice and simple, that kids and adults obviously can do it, but hold your hand on top of the piece of foliage and go upwards into the foam. Upwards into the foam. Do you see that sort of technique? Okay. A big mistake that people do is they hold their hand underneath it, like how you would hold a pen or a biro, and then you see you can't get the pieces to hang down on the pumpkin. So any of the kids are great at picking these tips up. Okay, upwards into the floral foam, upwards into the floral foam, and keep turning it around on the table. Do you know that way? And the pieces are all approximately the same length. But if you've ever done a class with me, I don't believe in measuring, okay? I just believe in kind of guessing, cutting them all what you think is roughly the same length and working your way around. Now, obviously, if you had a turntable, I do have turntables here, but this table is quite high for me. You know that way, Deirdre designed the table for the videos and wasn't thinking of me with the turntable. But you could use a turntable and it actually makes it easier because you don't have to keep turning it around. But if anybody is watching with 2 or 3 kids, one kid could be working on one side of the pumpkin and the other kid could be working over the other side, and hopefully they won't fight. So I'm just going along there and sticking an odd extra one in to see here and there. Now, by doing it in that technique, you can see the way the arrangement kind of like becomes part of the pumpkin. Where sometimes what happens is when you hold the pieces wrong and your hand is underneath, it looks like the arrangement has landed on the pumpkin. Do you know that way? And there's a kind of a space between where the foliage and the flowers is and then where actually the pumpkin starts. Now, it's completely up to you. Do you want to put the lid on now or do you want to put it on afterwards? A little tip, you use less material if you put the lid on early. So we have our lid here, okay? Whoever was cutting this was obviously feeling very geometric, okay? Because it's not a bit roundy at all, but sure, it doesn't matter, okay? So you get your kebab sticks. They're pointy at one end. So I'm sticking the pointy bit up into the pumpkin, and I nearly went through my hand on the other side there. And then I'm going to stick a second one in, you know me, to be feckin' well sure. And I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to stab it, you see, down into our floral foam. And it's up to you then how high or how low you want to put it in. I'm going to go down a little bit lower. So now, working around that now is I'm going to start sticking in, and I'm back holding it like a pen or a biro, and I'm going to start sticking in some foliage. You see, keeping it close to the lid this time, and it's all going in slanted. That was just a little bit
Jimmy
too long.
on Instagram wants to know, he says he's sick of his mother talking about us. He says she loves our videos, that we've got her through lockdown.
The amount of people that to say that.
He wants to buy her a voucher for Christmas. Do we sell vouchers?
We do, actually. And it's a great idea, Jimmy. And your mother will absolutely love it, because I had another husband on to me there the other day. And it was his wife's birthday, Grania, in case she's watching. Big belated happy birthday, Grania. And he booked her, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, he booked her onto the Christmas course. And then they had a son living abroad, and he organised a big package of kits of containers, oasis, frog legs, sundries, candle holders, rolls of ribbon, you name it, all the little bits and pieces that she'll need, which was a great present for her. And the same thing, I know Grania was saying that, well, the husband was telling us that Grania watches us all the time, and again, it got her through the lockdown. Do you know the way? So we do give vouchers. go to our website. Maybe if Sinead is watching, Sinead is our virtual assistant, who actually is over in Scotland. So it just shows you how things can work. Brilliant. There's another person donating. Another one, Janie Mac, they're off on a roll, they are. So Sinead will put the link in the comments there below. And all you have to do is click on it and you can buy the voucher for any amount. And sometimes, like other years, what we've had happen is families they've all bought vouchers maybe for the mum, and then she can put them all together, you know, that way. So absolutely no problem, and it's a great idea. Fair play to you.
Marjorie said that she was doing the same thing yesterday, and she nearly put the lollipop stick through her hand as well, same as you.
I didn't go through, but I felt it, you know, that way. If I had pushed it a little bit harder, ouch. I might have said more than ouch, Marjorie. So
well, because the kids are watching today on the midterm,
I have to clean today, dear. There's no bad language today. We're keeping things very clean. And what's your man's name? His mother, she's watching as well. So I wouldn't say she courses.
No, I wouldn't think so.
And
life at number 2 says your pumpkins are massive.
How are you, Paul? How are you? Paul was over in Lisbon last week. I seen you done a little sneaky surprise for Mark's sister. It looked amazing. You seem to have a ball. And you see, you spent half the time scooting up and down Lisbon on the
scooters. I know. I tell you, never be able for them.
Mike, come on.
Oh, I'm actually losing my train of thought.
Must be a lie.
Must be a lie. Yeah, come on.
No, I was just going to say about my dad was over in Spain there a while ago, and over in Lanzarote they had the same scooters that Paul was on, and my dad is scooting. He's 78 years of age, and he is scooting up and down Lanzarote on the little scooters. And I think every little trip he does is €2 something, whatever. But he had a bit of a his bank card got blocked there when he was over there, and he had to ring the bank then, and he wanted to identify himself, and they were asking about different payments that was on his banker's card or whatever. And he said, like, when they were calling out all the payments, so whatever the name of the bike company,
Link.
€2.60 for this on such, €2 and 160 and 180. They're all small amounts of money. And my dad says, and I'm trying to prove 78-year-old who I am, and they're probably thinking some little joyrider was up and down Lanzarote on the bike all the time. So there you can see there, I have that kind of greened up, you know, that way, just controlling around.
Urban Stems is watching in Linda from Australia. Welcome,
Hi, Linda. How are you? Big welcome. What about giving the video a share for us, Linda, over in Australia? Really appreciate that for us. So what I have here is a couple of the poppy heads, okay, and I've sprayed them gold. But the flowers what I'm going to use are these amazing roses, okay, and these are from Evergreen Silk Plants. So Sinead might put up the link, and anybody can buy from him. He's in RD County Loud. Charlie, you hear me talking about him all the time, and he has these in lots and lots of different colors. Now when you buy these, because I'll have to show you this, right? When you buy them by heads, okay? And it's just when you get the box of heads, you're saying, God, like, what will I do? You know, how will I work with this? So using the kebab sticks, okay? Now, Charlie actually sells plastic stems for going up into these, but like I bought them and I forgot to get the plastic stems. So just using the kebab stick, I just stick it up through the little stem at the bottom. Now, it's solid at the top here. In other words, it doesn't go all the way through. So I just kind of give it a good push, okay? And then using the gutta tape. Remember I showed you before how to use the gutta tape? I do have a video on YouTube if anybody missed it. And then what I'm going to use is the green gutta tape then, which helps camouflage the wooden cocktail stick. And saying that, it doesn't matter. And it just makes the flower a little bit more secure. Can you see onto the kebab stick? So I've already done that to all these roses, you see. So just when you go to buy them, it'll be heads that you'll be buying, and then you'll have to add the sticks on yourself.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. And somebody asked on Instagram there, about how many stems of eucalyptus did you cut up?
I probably use, see, it depends on the length, okay? So I've one here now that I've cut some, sorry if I went off. That was the length of my stems, okay? Now I've cut a bit off this already. So I used for each pumpkin, I cut up about 10 of them all together, but I used a mixture, okay? So this is the Parvia eucalyptus, but like if you get what we call the juvenile, you know, that way, like in other words, the younger shoots, the newer shoots, or the older shoots, the leaf will be a different size. So that's how I have a mixture of them. So some of it was from the top of the tree and some of it was from the bottom of the tree. The larger leaf fills in much faster. So I used approximately 10 stems, but you can see with the lighter ones, like, you know, it's quite light, you know what I mean? So I needed a lot of pieces.
Sinead has posted the link on Facebook to the gutter taping video on YouTube.
Oh, brilliant. You know,
so
Sinead's on the ball this morning.
She's on the ball. Sinead's going on her holidays
Sinead's going on her holidays. You see, this is it. So she's making sure, I think she's looking for the holiday pay.
I think she's looking for the bonus, holiday bonus. Another thing, actually, the shares are quite down. So we'd love people to maybe give this a share.
Everybody. Everybody that's watching,
we'll stop.
I'm going to stop, right? Everybody that's watching, go and click share this second, you know, that way. And it doesn't matter where you share it to. Share it to the man in the moon. It doesn't matter. Go and click share and then I'll start again. So what I'm starting off.
And if you're watching on Instagram and can't share, tag somebody.
So what I'm doing now is I'm placing, can you see the way 3 of them roses? And because them kebab sticks, they just go down among the greenery, no problem at all. Now you can push them down a little bit lower, and that's why I was saying with the lid of the pumpkin, you could have adjusted it a bit higher or a bit lower, but I'm happy enough there. And then when you're putting in them 3 flowers, try and work it that you have the same space or the same gap. Can you see approximately? Do you know that way? But again, you can see I didn't measure mine.
Just pull it over to the that
there
side.
We go,
yeah, there you go.
And if Deirdre had to cut the lid more circular, it would have looked nicer. But anyway, it's a geometric lid on our pumpkin. And then I'm going to get 3 more of the roses, and in between, so in between these 2, down a little bit lower. Can you see that sort of effect? And that's where I'm going to use the other 3. I have 7 on the table, but I'm only going to use 6 of them. But if you weren't putting the lid on, you'd put the 7th one in the center, you know, like where the lid was. And that's how you can just divide it up. Now, somebody's probably watching. That actually looks nice so far, doesn't it? Somebody's probably watching and saying, well, could you put fresh roses in? Of course you can, you know, that way. But again, we're keeping expenses down, you know, that way, that because the fresh flowers are quite expensive at the moment. And it means then you could use these again, because I'm thinking of what about Christmas time, not necessarily the pumpkin, but there's lots of other containers that you can get out there in gold for Christmas, and you could reuse these roses again. Fair play to you. Some of you are donating there all the time. And that's why Deirdre keeps saying cha-ching, in case you think she has Tourette's there in the background. And what I'm going to add in now for a little bit of texture is our little poppy heads, okay? So these are our poppy heads. They were orange originally, and as you can see there, we've sprayed them gold. So I'm just going to cut these all up approximately the same length, okay? And then I'm going to add them in and out through it. But again, if you want to keep these all fresh, these could be actually baby carnations, you know, that way, which would be a great long-lasting flower. You'd easily get, you know, 14 to 18 days out of the baby carnations. And again, they wouldn't be that expensive.
Okay, Michael is on there. Michael says, Jesus, that's a great idea about the gift vouchers for his mommy. Well, he says he wants to buy for Christmas. So have we a course starting after Christmas that she can sign up onto?
So after Christmas, all the courses start again after Christmas, but probably module 1 is what we would recommend her to start with. So 26th of January is our next module 1. Now, what was his name?
Michael.
Michael, is your mom working? Now, every mother works, okay, right? So, you know what I mean? Once you have kids, you're working. And even if you don't have kids, you're working. But if she's working and living in Ireland, I'm assuming that you're in Ireland, she's probably going to be entitled to the SkillNets grant, okay? We haven't got 100% confirmation on it, but we will. And that means that you'll save yourself €200. So along with your voucher, I mean, we can get the discount for you to the SkillNets, and I'll have more information on that pretty soon. So you could buy her the vouchers, and then, as I said, if you apply for the SkillNet grant, which we'll give you the information on, you'll save yourself a few bob. Now, while I was talking away to Michael there, I was banging in there a few of them little poppy heads. So can you see the way, just going in and out through it, no particular pattern. You can see there, I was just putting them in and out through to give it a little bit of texture. And again, when we're finished this pumpkin, you know what I mean, because after Halloween, we're putting up the Christmas tree, we can pull out all these poppy heads, and I will be able to add a stem onto them. So say like I had one there, and it was that length, and I wanted it longer. All I have to do is get 2 wires, overlap. Sinead has put the link for the gutter taping, how this is done. And then again, you can just gutter tape onto it, and it's not going as smooth as I thought it was. There we go, we're on a roll there now. And to see the way you can gutter tape onto the wires, to make them longer. So again, Sinead will post the video in the comments there so that you can watch and learn how to.
4,732.
Okay, we only need, who's going to just donate the 300? Michael there, instead of buying your Mara voucher, donate the 300 and bring us up to the 5,000 and pull us all out of our misery and money slack.
Jeremy wants to know, can I get the spray paint from the student sundries? No, we don't sell it.
No, we don't sell it, because I went up to Aldi myself when I bought it. Do you know that way? So you could actually keep them sticks, by the way, and I'll be able to show you how we can use these in our Christmas wreaths. So don't throw them out. And when you're spraying them, where we only spray to the top of them, spray the whole way down, because I have loads of ideas to show you when it comes to Christmas. Now, also what I picked up when I was buying them Fabulous Roses there from Charlie, he had these little twigs, okay? Now, again, you could go out to your garden and you could just get twigs off the tree, you know that way. But I just thought these were a little bit different, okay? So I'm just going to cut them short, cut the labels off, and again, just to give us another little bit of a texture, you see, going in and out through the pumpkins. Now, you don't need them, do you know that way? But just to show you, where it's a bit mad looking and a little bit wild looking, a bit like myself at the moment.
Patricia is watching over on YouTube. So I hope it's working well on YouTube this week. I've changed it up a little bit, so I'm hoping YouTube is not all blurry. I did re-upload the last live we did onto YouTube that I recorded with the camera. And she's saying the weather is atrocious in Bangor and County Down.
There you go.
And actually, she was looking for the Just Giving link, and I just added it into the comments, Patricia, on the YouTube as well. Let me see.
Now, these are just little dried flowers, and I was going to spray them gold, and then I said, you know what, leave them orange. Well, in other words, I forgot to give them to Deirdre when she was going home to spray them. I know, I'm excited. I actually thought, I said, the orange would be nice, kind of going through the gold.
Actually,
and you know what I mean? Again, it's making it very autumnal looking, and the little bit of stick going through it. So hopefully anybody that's watching, I am going to do another one now, you know what I mean? But anybody that's watching will turn around and say, oh my God, yeah, that was easy. Because this was really easy. And I did promise you that. I said, I'm going to keep this class, like, I was at the gym this morning. I know I'm going from one thing to the other, but it's sticking in my mind. And there's a girl up there, Wendy. I don't even know whether she watches me or not, okay? But there's a 6 o'clock class and there's a 7 o'clock class. Now, I go to the 7 o'clock class, and because I just get a little bit longer in the bed. But the 6 o'clock class, when we see the 6 o'clock ones coming out, like they're all the fit ones, you know that way. They can lift the weights, they're skinny, they're doing all the right things, okay? And then the 7 o'clock class go in, like me and like Wendy. We don't do all the things right. So Wendy calls us the remedial class. So anytime your man asks us to do something, of course, we're all saying, what? How do you do that? What do you do that? You know? And she said, don't forget, she says, we're the 7 o'clock class. We're the remedial class. So really, this flower arranging class this morning, I was keeping it for the likes of myself and Wendy. It's a remedial class. It's really easy. It's really simple, you know the way, but yet looks spectacular. Like us coming out of the gym, we look spectacular.
Somebody again on Instagram said that the spray paints are in Aldi this morning. So you might tag Aldi if you're on Instagram, tag Aldi, and let them know that we're using their spray paints.
Yeah.
Let me see, who else have we got? Jesus, we've another fella, David, saying he's going not to get the vouchers for his mother as well.
I tell you, and tag all your mates, David. You know, tag all your mates and make life really, really easy for them. And we can email the vouchers, or we can even send a hard copy. It's completely up to yourself. So there's our little pumpkin. So there's our remedial pumpkin for the remedial students, okay? Like that 7 o'clock class that I go to in the gym. And by the way, they're not all remedial on that 7 o'clock class, but me and Wendy are anyway. And all I used was 6 floppy roses, you know that way? So 6 floppy roses. You're seeing a handful of dried flowers. 3 bits of twig, because I just thought they were nice, but listen, a bit of twig out of the garden will be fine. And less than half, just over half a bunch maybe of them little dried flowers, you know the way, just to give us a little bit of texture.
Evelina wants to know, where can she get the roses and the eucalyptus from?
Okay, so the eucalyptus, you can get that in your own garden. So my garden in Rialto, you can get it there, you can. Flower shops, they'll sell you the bunches of eucalyptus. Like you're only, as I showed you there, the branch, a couple of branches of it, but you can use any foliage. Now the smell of this is just amazing, you know that way. But you can use any foliage at all. Now I know I said I am going to do a second one, but to speed it up, and I didn't want you having to watch me greening one up again. You can see I have this one kind of greened up, so it's a bit like one in the oven. And I hadn't got the lid on because I wanted you to see it kind of like greened up fully. But the same thing, I'm going to like put my 2 kebab sticks up into the lid. You must have got better doing this one, Deirdre.
Yeah. I actually think Keane did that one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he started it and he couldn't get the knife through it. Urban Stem says that's the girl over in Australia. She says it looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lid. Can you see just on this one here? So I'm using kind of similar materials, okay? So I have again.
To move back over again. You're sliding back over. Yeah.
So I have my pink floppy roses. These are exactly the same roses as the gold ones that I used earlier, right? I have some of the poppy heads, and again I've sprayed them rose gold. I have some of these are the alliums out of Deirdre's garden that are just gone to seed, okay? And we've sprayed them rose gold. I have a little bit of, this is artificial eucalyptus, but isn't it amazing artificial? And it has a little bit of a tinge of pink on it. So I haven't decided, am I definitely going to use it or not? I may or I may not. And I bought them also from Evergreen Silk Plants in RD. And you can buy online off them, or you can arrange to drop up. And he has fabulous Christmas ranges in, but we'll be coming to Christmas classes soon. I have a little bit of the pink dried as well. But you remember when we were doing the autumnal wreaths, so probably back in September when we were doing the live classes, I was showing you the bunches of hydrangeas that Charlie had for €5, and there was 5 heads on them, and we bought them all in different colours, okay? Well, Deirdre got one of this, was white, and she sprayed it rose gold. So again, I'm not going to use it today because I haven't got time, you know, that way. But again, can you see the way you could mix that in and out through your fresh greenery? Or again, you know what I mean, if you had, say, hydrangeas and they were looking a little bit tired looking, do you know the way, lash on the Algae Spray. Now, the spray I use, the rose gold, is an Oasis brand, but Aldi have it as well. And I actually have a tin of it in there. It was just, that was the nearest one to hand, and that was the one that I happened to use. So these roses, I wired these up the exact same way. When I say wired, I used the little kebab sticks coming up through them. And I have 2 different shades. I'm not sure if you can notice that, but there's 2 different shades there, right? So I actually thought they were all the one shade, so that was kind of a little bit of an accident. So I'm going to put 6 into this as well. So the plan would be is that you cut 3 of them and you place them kind of as even as you can around the lid. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And anybody that's Oscar, get a hain, a doe, a 3. So there you go. And get roughly the same amount of space in between them. And then cut 3 more. And this time go down a little bit lower, okay? So a little bit lower in the arrangement, and place the second 3. So again, we put 1 over there, we put 1 in between them 2 over there, and we put the other one. So again, if that was 6 large carnations, you know the way, 6 lily heads, 6 roses, you know the way, if you want to keep fresh flowers, you can use this in fresh, because remember, it's wet foam that I've used in it. If anybody is late joining us, okay, I did explain all at the beginning how to put in the dry foam as well. Now we have the dried allium heads that Deirdre sprayed. Now these are brilliant. So I'm using these instead of the twigs that I used in the previous one. And again, it's just to give it a little bit of a texture. Always when you're doing flower arrangements, you're looking for textures. Where if you keep using all the same shape material, so say you were using poppy heads and you used carnations, they're both bally shapes, so your arrangement looks bally. So you use lots of textures to make it a little bit more interesting.
Mary McGarry says, I got the Christmas course from her daughter as a birthday present in August. It's the best present she's ever got.
Brilliant, brilliant.
And somebody actually said, was it too late to book onto the Christmas course?
No, you can still join up, you can. So it officially starts on Monday, as in the Bloom Room opens on Monday. And if you're wondering what the Bloom Room is, I'm just hitting a leaf there. The Bloom Room is like a virtual interactive classroom, and it literally does be interactive and very virtual. And we're there every morning. So with the Christmas program, 11 a.m. Now, if you can't join in at 11 a.m., don't worry about it. You can watch it on the replay. But the 11 a.m. is like where I have the chats and the talk. You're asking any questions, you know the way. But then you're signed up to what we call like our online tutorials. And we have 35 different arrangements so far, because we are the school that keeps on giving. So we're always adding new ones to it. And they're completely different to last year, you know that way. We have a few old reliables, but there's 25 brand new ones kind of added in. And you watch the step-by-step tutorials at your, that broke by the way. You watch the step-by-step tutorials at your own pace at a time that suits you. So people often think that the Bloom Room is a classroom, you know that way. The Bloom Room is more like when you've done your exercises, you've done your homework, you know the way. You stay back, you talk to the teacher, you go back over anything that you want, or like again, if you have any questions, you need any help, or you need any advice. Now, while I'm talking away there, you can see I'm just adding in, do you see the couple of little rose gold poppy heads? And again, they're giving a lovely texture in among the alliums, in among the little roses. And again, cheap enough, you know, that way you could go into a shop, buy a small bunch of dried flowers. It doesn't have to be the poppy heads, like the wheats or the barleys, you know, the way they would do fine as well and would look.
Everyone is actually looking at the colours. It'll be interesting to see which they
Yeah,
prefer. Yeah,
we'll do a quiz.
We'll do a poll on Instagram as well. And
did
the Christmas course last year was amazing, well worth it. Liz Parker, hi Liz.
Hiya Liz. How are you?
Bernie Hurley said that she loves the alliums in it.
They are nice, aren't they, Bernie? And you probably have loads of them. So Bernie Hurley has a fabulous garden in Portlaoise, she has. And I'm sure if you went down, she'd let you pick the seeded allium heads. No bother. You know?
And Luxury Reef Dublin on Instagram saying that she's loving her Christmas course at the moment.
Brilliant. So we gave like early access to anybody because some people will be, a lot of people are doing the course to maybe sell or do it as presents, you know, that way. And so what we did was we gave them early access that you could get stuck in. And obviously the classroom won't open till Monday. But it means on Monday, I can imagine all the questions I get on Monday. They'll be on the ball, they will. But anybody watching in from Mayo, I'm heading to Mayo, up the Dubs now, but we're heading down to Mayo. Might bring a photograph of the Sam Maguire down with me. What do you think, Deirdre? Let them have a little look at it. So I'm heading down there. So our virtual Westport. That is Mayo, isn't it?
Mayo,
yeah. Don't be confusing me altogether now. So what was I saying? The virtual interactive classroom will actually be interactive or virtual or transporting. We'll be working from Mayo tomorrow. Well, I will. Deirdre will be still here.
I'll be here in the office. Don't worry. Keeping things together. Somebody says, hang on a second, I see who she was. Michelle says she never thought about spraying the spent flowers like gold and silver.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I thought them when Deirdre brought them in this morning, and she said, "Do you remember the white hydrangeas?" She says, "Look what I did." And only I had these two kind of like organized. I was saying, like, imagine just filling the top of the pumpkin with just them 5 hydrangeas would have done the job, and then adding a little bit of texture going in and out through them. You know, that way I said it would have been so simple, so easy, definitely remedial class. You know, that way. So anybody that was feeling.
Well, I know last year I actually sprayed those alliums black. Remember? Yeah. And we done them in the black arrangement.
And we done them and we done a couple of Halloween arrangements.
That's right.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're in one of the tutorials as well. In the Halloween tutorials.
I think so. Yeah.
For these.
Yeah.
Now, again, for anyone late joining, okay, what we're hoping today is to raise a few bob for Look Good, Feel Better. So, yeah, we're giving this class for free, but we do that all the time, by the way. We always do these classes for free. We never ever charge for them. But for anybody who makes a donation to the Look Good, Feel Better charity, which supports women and men, we have to say and men going through cancer, but the classes are mostly makeup and hair, so it's probably mostly women, and false eyelashes and you name it, false eyebrows and so on. But men are more than welcome to avail of the services as well. We have to be very gender neutral here. At the moment, we're on 4,600 or something like that. We're hoping to get it to 5,000, okay? And all you have to do is make a small donation. The link is going to be in the comments below, right?
4,744.
Grand, okay. So we want another 300, and I'm nearly finished, so I don't know whether we're going to do it.
Yeah, we mightn't do it unless we get a few more chinks.
Some people might watch later on. And remember, even if you made a donation last week or the week before, you got a different course free. You got your pumpkin course, you got your autumnal wreath course, okay? And this week it's a mini Christmas program. So it's a Christmas table center,
a Christmas hat box,
and a large, fresh, kind of contemporary Christmas style arrangement, which would do for weddings, hotels, events, and even just decorating your own home. You know, that way it's a nice one. Goes through these. I'm randomly picking these out, and they're all big ones that I'm picking. I'm looking for a smaller one. So what I've been doing there while I've been chatting away is just adding a little bit more of the dried going through it. So this is the same as the orange one. Like both pumpkins are very, they're exactly the same. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't cop onto that, but they are. They're exactly the same, they are. And the only difference was I used the alliums in this one, the dried alliums sprayed gold, and I used the little twigs in the other one. So far, which colour one do you prefer? I suppose it depends on the colour scheme of your house. But you know, even to put these outside your house, like, you know what I mean, on your doorstep, if you have doorsteps, or even in your little porchway. Like last year I did mine in fresh flowers, but I was just thinking this year, if we use the artificial, we would be able, we're going to be mean, is we'll be able to reuse it again. Do you know, that sort of way? And I will show you how to add your stems back on for any of them that's cut too short.
Mary Kinsler says, how do you get the link to the course, girls? She's donated a few times but got no links. The links for the, if you've donated in the past, the link was on the donation page that you would have, where you would have made your donation. But we've changed it this time that when you donate, you get a
we realised you were a bit remedial like us as well.
You will get a thank you email from Just Giving, and in that thank you email is the link to the Christmas program. Somebody just donated €2. I think it's worth a little more than €2.
A little bit. Now, don't you go and download a course for €2. I tell you, maybe she meant to do 200.
Maybe she
go
did.
Back in there again now and donate again. The €2. In Dublin, we call that taking the piss, okay? You're going to get you're downloading a course that's worth an awful lot more. Now, we're not looking for the full amount. As I said, €10, €20, you know that way. Just, again, it is a very well-worthy charity.
Yeah,
there
perfect. Yeah, super.
It's the two good sides looking out.
Okay, on that Instagram.
You see, you always have a good side and a bad side, you know the way. So it's a bit like your face and your hair, you know the way. You get a good. By the way, do you like my hair? I got my hair cut last night. So, which ones do you like the best? The pink one or the gold one? Now, I also want to mention, do you remember we talked about the scholarship? And this is where we are offering full, complete training to one lucky person, okay? And all they have to do is submit an application, and you can actually you can submit it for them, or they can do it themselves. Now, originally we had said that the 8th of December, but you know what? We are inundated with the amount of applications. We're on hundreds of applications. So we have extended it to the middle of January. So Sinead put the link for the scholarship in the comments. So if you haven't heard about it, the best thing to do is click on the link. You'll get all the information about the scholarship. It'll cost you absolutely zilch, zero. All your flowers, all your materials, containers, absolutely everything you require for the course will be delivered and sent to your home. And the only thing that you will have to buy is buckets for keeping all the flowers in, and you're going to need them anyway, right? So that's the only thing that you'll actually have to purchase. So there's our two very, very simple.
Seems to be
the gold one. Seems to be what's class. I like the pink one.
Yeah, and then you always love pink.
I always love pink.
Well, most people say that both of them are lovely, but they would prefer the gold.
Yeah.
Urban Stems in Australia prefers the pink.
You're a woman after me own heart.
Cha-ching. Okay, a few more donations coming in there.
I say that's your one with the €2 after coming back. We embarrassed her. We named and shamed her. I'm only slagging. You wouldn't want to be sensitive. If you're sensitive, there's no point in watching these classes. So as I said, Christmas online program, which isn't part of the mini one that you're getting free, okay? It's completely different. Christmas online 4-week program is starting on Monday. I'll get Sinead to put the link in the comments there now, and if you click on it, you'll get all the information. But you can always give us a ring here at the school, 01 for Dublin, 4538649. Next Wednesday, module 1 is starting. The closing date for that is tomorrow, okay? After that, then it's too late. But the next one will be after Christmas, 26th of January. And anybody that wants to buy their mums, their sisters, their aunties, their uncles, their fathers, their husbands, sons, whatever, gift vouchers. We have the gift vouchers up on the website, Ideal Christmas Presents, and you can buy them for any amount. So you can get one for €2 if you want, okay? And I'll get Sinead to put the link for the vouchers in the comments there. Just scroll down. And remember, we're looking for a couple, 2 or 3 or more €100 for the Look Good, Feel Better to bring us up to 5,000.
We're actually only at 4,873.
So
we're looking for €120,
€125. You're one there with the €2. Log back in there again now and put in 118.
Great class, looks great. Everyone's loving it. Again, we remind you if you could share it.
Really appreciate it.
And you know, it's not even just sharing for us, it's also sharing for Look Good, Feel Better. Carmel says she's loving the pink. She Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she's the breast cancer warrior.
Fair play to you.
Let me see. Have a good Halloween. Yes, absolutely. Enjoy the Halloween. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, huge thanks to everybody for joining in. I'm not sure what our next date is going to be for going live. Probably one of the days next week. If there's something that you'd like me to do, because I know one of the girls yesterday was saying about the wire-edged ribbon bows, and I promised her I'm going to do that for her, all right. And as I said, somebody else had asked about the Halloween bows. So if there's something that you'd like me to do, put it in the comments there, and I'll try and facilitate you. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. If anybody's
920.
Oh, there you go. You see, your one's after going back in that €2 one. She was mortified. She was. You wouldn't want want to do anything wrong here, would you? If anybody sees me in Mayo, give us a big wave. I'd love to see us, love to talk to you all. And listen, have a fabulous weekend, and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.